Welcome to the Broken Baker, where crimes are baked in every show. Mysteries rise and truth unfolding. Ready, set, it's time to go. We say it's time to go. Whistling truth, battering news, mixing stories, solving the lies. In this kitchen, secrets are broken, with a spark in our eyes. In the Broken Baker's kitchen, the secrets crumble like sunrise. We'll sift through clues to find the news, with a spark in our eyes. The broken rise, broken rise. Welcome to the Broken Baker. Get ready. Let's go.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you are, and good morning. It's 6 a.m. You don't need that beauty sleep because you're pretty as you are. And I was sent the Bederow number 3 letter from Marissa, and I woke up an hour ago and started reading it, and I thought, no one else is streaming at this hour except MG, the Jack Show. I think Melanie Little is still going. But I wanted to cover it because I have a hard time understanding Massachusetts. Yes, and it is backwards. So I will be effing up a long time. You go to sleep. Leah, with that last name, how can you not be pretty? Yes. But if, and again, these are allegations, these are claims from one party, blah, 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 blah. But how can this be the state of Massachusetts? That's a little play on words. How can they live with a police department, the MSP, district attorney, Michael, because in Denmark that would be Michael, who has been involved in so much scandal. Aiden's case is ongoing, nothing has been proven, yada yada. But you had the Kearney case and the absolute clustermuck that case was. You have Sandra Birchmore. Horrible, horrible, horrible case. Sadly, we forget it a little bit. We don't cover it as much as we probably should. I'm glad Justice for Sandra Birchmore is out there doing streams on it. You had the Garcia. No one talks in that case either. How is this a thing? And again, I'm a stupid little YouTuber who can get 43 people watching me on a Thursday night at midnight Eastern time. Melanie Little had a couple of thousand people watching. Before this weekend is over, again, tens of thousands of people will have read about this, and It's just the show must go on. The lies, the cover-ups, the abuse of power. Where are the checks and balances? I feel like all my I'm gonna go on and do a stream late at night. Always turns into me sitting here being angry. Bederow does his research. Yes, he wouldn't send letters. He's not the Sarah Boone defense. What? Case law? He doesn't sign a piece of paper with nothing to back it. Hey, money. Senator Birchmore is very, very sad, and it's a very as whenever things pick up and we get more in that case, it'll get more coverage. People are out there. People are enraged with everything going on up there, so it'll come back and be in the headliner. Right now, Turtle Boy is the headliner in the ongoing scandal. When he's done, we're getting into Kearney part 2. I just saw an estimate of what they used on cops just to do the trial in the courthouse. That was $250,000. Karen Reed case 2. They just hired a $75,000 special prosecutor because they are inept at their jobs. The people you pay your taxpayer money to. They had to get a new guy to do the check. That guy can't differentiate between a bit and a byte. Let's guess he's getting 25,000 of your taxpayer dollars as well. Plus all the extra overtime you're going to pay the police. A police department where normal uniformed police officers are paid more than the PM in Denmark. And they still can't do anything right. It's because I had my hair cut yesterday, and it looks like crap because I went right to the computer. They are known as massholes. Well, yeah, especially the Masshole Mafia, who will also make an appearance, I believe, in this letter. You're a night owl. Yes. Was it from Jamie? You're probably fired before the show starts at 9 tomorrow. I don't even know if they think they know what they do. That night when AJ's daughter and I did the live and read from the affidavit for the Sandra. Well, what happened to her was she was groomed by a piece of who unalived her. Hey, Rescue Puppy. Hey, Chante. But you didn't only come to hear me whine about how horrible Massachusetts is. You came to hear the masterful writings of Mr. Bederow. Hey, Becca. Well, I'm getting up early because Molly is she jumps out of bed at around 5 and go put herself in her dog basket. So I wake up and I was hanging out and watching The Expert, and he went off and I could do something. Oh, she's not asking. She's saying what happened is so sad. Sorry, I know English speaking. Yes, it's very, very, very sad, especially when you know, and that's so tough. The worst part of that case to me is she was so looking forward to become a mom herself, probably to try and do better with that kid and give that kid a better life than she had. You didn't rob the world of one sunshine. You robbed it of 2 rays of sunshine. One who had the potential to be everything. And you took it away because you were a demonic person who could red rum someone and then go to your wife's hospital bed and welcome in a new kid to the world. And kids don't carry the sin of their fathers, but when that kid finds out his birth is tainted in that way, I feel sorry for that kid as well. I believe there was no DNA tested in the case. Yeah, and sadly, it's not just Massachusetts. But Commonwealth v. Aidan Kearney. Mr. Cosgrove, we are scheduled to appear in Norfolk County Superior Court on December 2nd to address issues related to the Commonwealth search of Aidan Kearney's cellular phones. To date, the defense has not been provided with any data or extraction reports from Mr. Kearney's devices, which have remained in the Commonwealth's possession since they seized them in October 11, 2023. Why haven't you given them the Cellbrite report yet? It's a month till you have to go to trial, and you still haven't gotten around to it. I know you don't do well with tech in Massachusetts, but seems kind of weird, right? For approximately 1 year, the Commonwealth has claimed or implied that Kearney's cellular phones have not been searched. These representations are patently false. Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey and Special Assistant District Attorney Kenneth Mello have known since October 2023 that MSP Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully searched Mr. Kearney's cellular phones and that the MSP extracted at least one of them prior to October 31st, 2023. So more than a year ago, they extracted his phones, got all his information on it, because this case was never about getting Turtle Boy alone. Turtle Boy is a thorn in their side because Turtle Boy is an investigative journalist. And yes, blah, blah, all the disclaimers, his methods, blah. No, F that. They wanted to figure out what he had on his phone they could use against Karen Reed. They wanted the whistleblowers. They wanted the communications between Aidan and Karen. And there's nothing. To all the Masshole idiots out there who says, well, Aidan is a paid PR agent for Karen Reed. Even if he was, there's nothing illegal in doing that. Karen Reed can have everyone. She could send me a box of chocolates and say, can you please talk about this? I will give you special access to information so you can do a show on it. And I would say, I don't eat chocolate. Send it to Jamie, but I'll probably look into it. There's nothing wrong in using the media. Have you met politicians? They have an army of spin doctors at their paycheck, especially to influence the media. Just because he's better at it than you and probably figured out there was a zeitgeist out there saying we should do this online. You came later and tried to do the same, but you used KP, you used LG, and you used the absolute disaster that is Caffey Daffy, which we know from FOIA requests that you were talking about, using her big social outreach. She doesn't have that big of a social outreach because I have 64 people here. That's half what she gets on her prime time shows. But you're just bad at your job. Karen Reed, even if she had paid every streamer about it, there's nothing illegal in it. Nothing. So all you stupid massholes, the Smurf army, not all the massholes, but you know what I'm talking about, the Masshole Mafia. It's not an argument. It's totally legal to talk to someone and say, well, I don't agree with what the state is presenting. Would it have been better if it's been the Boston Globe? Would that have been okay? No, because you don't care. You don't care. You just want Aiden down. And that's the same that the DA's office wanted. They just wanted ammunition they could use against Karen Reed, and they wanted Turtle Boy off the street because he was dangerous, because he's too good at his job. Hey, Winosaur. Haven't had coffee yet. I'm on Dr. Pepper. Karen, why are you up this early in Britain? Yes, and again, I said if he was paid, she was just a good PR person. There's nothing wrong to get paid. There's nothing wrong to build a relationship with a source. Go ask any journalist out there, and I'm not talking about like a TMC journalist. Oh, look how Kardashian's booty has grown, become smaller, whatever they write about. No, any salt of the earth journalist who remember what journalism is about, poking power in the eye, they will have a good relationship to different sources. But I'm saying even if she had paid Aiden to have the take she had, there's nothing wrong in it. Nothing wrong to have a good relationship to your sources. Well, I get in trouble with I have to do it at this time of day because Jess gets mad at me. Well, KP's IQ is so low she couldn't even make the Sarah Boone defense team. Even if they wanted, the truth will always come out, so any media they wanted was against them. You could only get the hacks who tried to jump on the anti-grift wagon. Exactly. All journalists have sources. Some of them have a relationship with these sources. Some journalists, how many journalists who writes about tech gets a little I know if you write about Hollywood, you get a little bag with goodies in it when you write about a premiere, but you're totally unbiased in your reviews. I don't know what you just sent me, Marissa. I'm live. Turtle Boy has a big mouth and back it up. He's not afraid to spreading the truth and he fears no one. Exactly. But people who are in power hate big mouths. They hate people who dare talk against them. And that is what, do you call it journalism, the fourth power? We do that because they are the checks and balances on all the other three branches of power. The politicians, the courts, and the police. The journalists are supposed to be the ones who keep them honest. Well, it gets on my phone and I just see the message. I don't see where you share it, but it still goes on my phone. We recently came into possession of several pages from a Cellbrite extraction report of Mr. Kearney's cellular phone. And footnote number 1, the Cellbrite report identifies the owner of the extracted Apple device as Clarence Woods Emerson, which is a pseudonym used by Mr. Kearney on Facebook. And proof that it was searched by Tully in October 2023 during an investigation orchestrated by Morrissey into alleged witness intimidation of Chris Albert and Jennifer McCabe by a Stoughton court clerk and Mr. Kearney. This is outrageous that the defense obtained evidence in your actual possession related to alleged intimidation of named witnesses in the indictment against Mr. Kearney from a third party rather than from the Commonwealth, who was obligated to disclose this evidence to the defense several months ago, but instead had repeatedly denied its existence. Again, This is an absolute crap fest again. If you want to be a corrupt POS, be better at it. This just again reeks of incompetence and complacency because, no one will find out. Cover your tracks. It's like being a criminal who tape yourself on a cell phone. Don't be stupid. Linda, it's just past 6 in the morning. The gift bags are called swag. Yeah. Well, someone should be streaming at this hour. Yeah, I remember them saying they haven't touched it, and that's why they wouldn't give them back. Exactly. They had it in their custody since they apprehended him at the bus stop with his kids. And they never ever looked at their phones. That's the story they have gone with. They have presented that to court. If they can prove a Cellbrite report was performed and the DA lied about it in court documents, again, at what point can the judges just close their eyes? We all laugh at Bev. But what about the rest of them? At what point do they have some kind of pride in their position, some kind of obligation to their profession to start doing the right thing? I don't know. I don't know. Morrissey launched the investigation, which relied upon the MSP search of Mr. Kearney's cellular phones on September 29, 2023, Exhibit B. This was after he engaged Mr. Mello to handle any investigations involving Mr. Kearney due to a conflict that arose after Mr. Kearney's dogged reporting exposed information that persuaded a large segment of the public that the Norfolk County DA's office and MSP framed Karen Reed for the unaliving of John O'Keefe, which almost all overnight created the worldwide Free Karen Reed movement. Number 2. Despite similar, if not worse, conflicts with Mr. Kearney, the Norfolk County MSP Homicide Unit has not recused itself. Tully is leading an investigation in which his 2 direct subordinates, Proctor and Bukaki, are alleged victims of Mr. Kearney. Tully and Proctor are presently under MSP internal affairs investigation, and Bukaki already has been disciplined for their inappropriate conduct in the Reed case, which bolsters the credibility of Mr. Kearney's reporting on the Reed case. This is obvious conflict combined with the Norfolk County MSP Homicide Unit's exploitation of the Massachusetts witness intimidation statute by utilizing it in favor of witnesses who, and then I have to go up here because it's the other way around, despises Mr. Kearney and refusing to employ it against those who are aligned with Mr. Kearney and or are critical of the Reed case, exposes the unit's animus towards Mr. Kearney and creates the appearance of an improper motive for investigating him. As Morrissey recognized in recusing his office, public confidence in the MSP and the Norfolk County criminal justice system, which currently is dreadful in large part due to the MSP. Norfolk County's homicide, it's very long, these footnotes. Homicide unit's conduct in Mr. Kearney's case, the Reed case, including Trooper Proctor's suspension without pay for his shocking and disgraceful treatment of Miss Reed, and the flawed Sandra Birchmore investigation, compels that the Norfolk MSP homicide unit be replaced with unbiased investigators from another county. Yes, at least do that. Get some fresh eyes, unbiased eyes, but I'm not sure you can get that in Massachusetts. But Brian Walsh got his device back after 24 hours. Yeah. Isn't that funny, Sharon, how things work? It's almost like they are lying and they are keeping his information from him, probably because they don't understand that you can log into iClouds and stuff like that from another device, but They're not the best with tech. Lest there be any doubt that Mr. Mello didn't know in October 2023 that Mr. Kearney's phones were searched and at least one extracted. His failed attempt to indict Karen Reed and Mr. Kearney for conspiracy to commit witness intimidation shortly before Ms. Reed's trial, in which Mr. Mello elicited testimony from Tully that he searched Mr. Kearney's cellular phone on October 23, settles that question. See testimony of Tully, pages 27 to 29. We are deeply troubled by Mr. Mello's misleading representations, which has left the court and defense with the false impression that Mr. Kearney's devices had not been searched. To be clear, we do not believe that Mr. Cosgrove has deliberately made inaccurate representation to the court and/or defense. Rather, it appears that Morrissey, Mello, Tully have failed to inform him about the true circumstances surrounding the searches and extraction of Mr. Kearney's cellular phones. That's probably a good bet. Number 3. Put simply, it is undeniable that the Commonwealth has failed to disclose any evidence from Mr. Kearney's devices, despite Mello, Tully, and Morrissey's knowledge for more than 1 year that such evidence has been in the Commonwealth's possession, and that at least one of Mr. Kearney's cellular phones have been extracted. Yeah, that's probably you need to go out of state. Now they're afraid their record trail on Turtle Boy's devices, a record of them illegally searching them, possibly even destroying evidence. No. I don't know, but you could see that they have the information from Tully's testimony at a grand jury, which didn't they ask for grand jury notes in the last letter or the previous letter? Hey, Linda, go to bed, get some C's. Are you friends with Ken Mello's daughter in high school? Ken Mello seems to me like a desperate clown who's in deep water and can't get out of it. He was number 6 they asked to be a special prosecutor because no one else would do it. He seems like a hack who's just a lawyer for hire. They fought a long time to not turn over all the grand jury transcripts. This is very likely why. Exactly, Edward Scott. This is exactly why they wanted to keep all this out of anyone's eyes, because these people are so inept at their job that whenever they open their mouth, they either perjure themselves or are lying so blatantly that everyone can tell. Hey, I have a crossreads my mom did about the 13 rules for kitchens. Mr. Morrissey's fall 2023 investigation of Mr. Kearney. Mr. Mello has certified that his services as a special assistant district attorney incurred as of September 20th. Morrissey officially authorized Mello's engagement in September 26th. Thus, Morrissey agreed and understood prior to September 29 that Mello was the proper official to handle investigations related to Kearney's alleged intimidation of witnesses in the Reed case. It's the same in Karen Reed case, where the police department conflicts out and still are heavily involved in the investigation. Don't they understand what it means when you have conflicted out of something? On September 28th, Chris Albert, a witness in the Reed case and an alleged victim in the 23 indictment, sought but was denied a protective order against Mr. Kearney before Judge Daniel O'Malley of the Stoughton District Court. This application was heard and decided in a courtroom open to the public. Later that day, Kearney published a blog about this matter. That evening, Jennifer McCabe, another witness in the Reed case and an alleged victim in the 2023 indictment, complained in a text message to an unnamed individual. I know it's late, but I'm horrified that Chris didn't get it. And I'm even more disgusted that for the second time, someone from the court leaked it right away to Turtle Boy. On May 30th, Ms. McCabe unsuccessfully sought a protective order against Mr. Kearney in the Stoughton District Court. This application also was decided in courtroom open to public. Exhibit B. Ms. McCabe's message was forwarded to Morrissey, who included it in an email he sent the following day to Stacey Fortes, Chief Justice of the District Court, Thomas Ambrosino, Massachusetts Trial Court Administration, Philip McHugh, Deputy Court Administrator. Was that ended weird? Oh, it's because I have to go. Sorry, it's the other way around, so it's a little weird. Judge O'Malley, First Justice of the Stoughton District Court, and Lynn Beeland, Norfolk County First Assistant District Attorney. Morrissey used a personal email account. I bet you there are laws against that. You can't do official business on a private email account because you must always be able to provide your communication if someone is alleging you did foul play. Just using a personal email, and this is a guy who's been a DA for 25 years. All of those 25 years, Al Gore have blessed us with the internet. So he has been using emails his entire life. You don't do official business on private emails because someone will come and ask for them at some point. And why are he reaching out to all the justices? Remember when I said 10 minutes ago, what about the rest of them? It seems like you can't trust anything in Massachusetts now. No one is clean. That's the smell you get off of this. Well, keep it secret. Well, Sarah is up now. She's getting ready for court. Yeah, that's nasty. Yes, I went. I've had my 4.5 hours of sleep. I'll sleep again before I stream again. Oh my. I know there's a lot going on, but this is awesome. Bederow is a wordsmith. I'm having a ball listening to these. I've got to go read Aiden's article today too. I've heard it's great. Yes, everyone, please go support Turtle Boy and read his version of the story and his blogs. Because, again, my very first stream where I ever heard about Turtle Boy was the second hearing in the Kearney case where he was in court and someone said, well, he's a bad guy. And I said, I don't know anything about his methods. I don't know him. But if he had harassed people, I didn't like that part. Then I had him on a show. Seemed like a nice guy. He's just what we in Denmark believe New Yorkers are because we've seen movies from the 70s. He's just a in-your-face kind of guy. I've never seen him done anything other than be an a-hole. But there's a lot of a-holes in the world, and sometimes a-holes get more done than good guys. Exactly, because he can't be fired on his personal mail. But if you use a personal email to do official business, don't you make your personal email official then? I think, yeah. Bederow is that good. He blew up Thursday night YouTube with his eloquence. He did. And again, people, as I said, I'm a small channel. I can't even get 100 people to watch me at this hour. But before the weekend is over and everyone has covered it, it'll be in the big tens of thousands who have heard about this as well. And he writes well. It reads well. It's a good presentation. It doesn't get too clogged down in mumbo jumbo. But after this, it's priceless because Mello has actually been sanctioned a few times already, so he's in jeopardy of actually losing his license. Well, they should take it away, but he's so old it doesn't matter. Good old Kenny Berkowitz ran monthly thrills on cover-ups, though he's got a lot more pull than people think. Well, I normally just have my mods because the links that's normally shared in chats are those crypto bots, and YouTube doesn't like when there's too many people spamming links. That's why the mods are the only one who can share links. DA Morrissey used a personal email account. Email addresses used by employees of DA's office ends in @mass.gov. The email address used by Morrissey for his September 29th message ended in iCloud.com, which is associated with an individual's personal Apple account. So your Apple account is now probably can be information against you. Hope you never rented a dirty movie. Personal email account to communicate with numerous high-ranking court officials, including the judge who denied Mr. Albert's application for a protective order about official business he described as a matter of grave concern. Someone in the Stoughton District Court shared an affidavit that was prepared by a witness of in the Commonwealth we read Red Rum case with Mr. Kearney. Without elaboration, Morrissey named court employee Michelle Littlefield as the leading suspect. That same day, Catherine Peter, an MSP source against Mr. Kearney, see October 8 letter, page 3, tweeted that Mr. Kearney would be arrested on October 10th. He was arrested on October 11th. In an October 3rd Facebook post, Ms. Peter publicly identified Ms. Littlefield as the target of the unpublicized investigation, posted her picture, and announced that Ms. Littlefield had been suspended as part of the investigation. Again, how small is your network if you have to use Krusty Pants as your attack dog? They are always yelling that, oh, Karen Reed is in contact with Microdots and Turtle Boy and not yellow cottage cheese because no one likes him. The young jerks, she's spreading all her propaganda. These a-holes use Krusty Pants. Couldn't you get someone better? Hey, Massachusetts PA, I know you like to overpay your employees. I would do it for $100,000 a year. I could sit here and leak all of your stuff and say, oh my, have you heard? Well, it's better than Miss Shorty who calls me bacon. None of them believe they get caught. None of them, because they have been doing this for far too long. Well, her name is Catherine Peters, Kate Peters. She goes by Masshole Mafia. She had some sort of, I don't know if she was an employee or just a helper of Turtle Boy back in the day. I don't know I don't know the full backstory. I don't know the law in that story. Someone says, and I have no evidence, I have no knowledge about it, that she stole something from Turtle Boy, so he fired her, and since then she have had a raging hate boner for anything Turtle Boy. The last Bederow letter clearly implied that the DV victim, Lindsay, who got Aiden thrown in prison, was planning it with Tully and Morrissey through Catherine Peters. If they can get good old Krusty to flip, if they can find out she has been, because this lady have more lawsuits against her than I have eaten peas in my life, and I like peas. If she had gotten off or gotten sweetheart deals to attack Turtle Boy, the scandal is just insurmountable for this DA's office. And if she orchestrated a fake DV claim against Turtle Boy because Chris Albert couldn't get him a gag order, because it was right after that, when they got denied that in court, that Aiden was invited over to Lindsay to see a summons to a grand jury that didn't exist. Who gave her that piece of paper saying she was called before grand jury? Again, but all of that orchestrated through Kate Peters, a woman who looks like melted clay and seems to have an IQ that makes yellow cottage cheese seem halfway intelligent. Yeah, but I don't know the full law behind it. I'll just say allegedly. I think that's the get out of jail card. Hey, have en god dag på arbejde, og ser dig senere. I love how better I gave Costco and out throwing Morrissey and Mello. Oh, Bederow gave so Costco have an opportunity to clean his image. Yeah, I like that. People were asking why didn't she lose her bond the last time she was in there, but that was because the state magically forgot to bring evidence. The cocky arrogance to continue to try and get out of their corruption is beyond me. The world is watching and they keep doubling down. Leia, they have been doing it for so long. If you've been following some of my other streams, I've been talking about these YouTubers who are in trouble now, or P. Diddy who's in trouble now, because they get so famous they believe they can walk on water. So far, only one guy has been able to do that, and it didn't end too well for him. And just because you're a big YouTuber and you think you can walk on water, you're probably gonna drown. You see people who believe they are untouchable get in trouble all the time because they get lazy. No one can get me, and they will. I said she should have a nice day at work. I haven't tested them. I can't confirm or deny it. Yes. Without elaboration, Morrissey named court employee Michelle Littlefield as a leading suspect. He expressed concern that the Reed case witnesses has lost faith in the courts and that the actions erode the trust and integrity between the courts and the public and the relationship with the... This is such a... No, you idiot. Your actions is what erodes the trust and integrity. We are extremely concerned that the improbably disseminated court material unsolicited to a third party, which is continuing to cause harm and damage to a witness in an outgoing the ongoing homicide prosecution must be a violation of court policies or a potential violation of law. We also understand that Aidan Kearney has also immediately requested copies of the FTR record that was made on 28th of September. Again, there's no way that he would have or should have known that a hearing took place. Morrissey concluded by demanding that these matters be resolved immediately and that he would await your advice. After Mr. Kearney's October 11th arrest, his cellular transmission on 7:53 on the day of Mr. Kearney's arrest confirmed that MSP official assigned to arrest Mr. Kearney, including Tully, heard from KP it was the same thing yesterday. The two older kids getting around the same time, but it was 8:30. Mr. Kearney was arrested at 8:34, 1 minute after his children boarded a school bus. Remarkably, it appears that Miss Peter participated in the MSI, must be MSP, yeah, MSP's apprehension of Mr. Kearney by surveilling him at their behest. Please, God, tell me this is true. Please, God, tell me that we are going to get Kate Peters on the stand trying to outthink Mark Bederow, a guy that the other side has called a glorified real estate lawyer. Please, please, please tell me this lady is going to be cross-examined by him and sit there and try and think on her feet. It will be better than Sarah Boone. I hope this case will be covered. I don't wish for much, but throw me a bone. I can buy that house in South Dakota after that. I think they called it code yellow. Well, with her, I'll call it code stain. But having Kate Peters sitting outside lurking at him and his kids, she can't even take care of her own kids. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. She was named during the audio. Yeah, I heard that too. It's After his October 11th arrest, his cellular phones were seized and maintained by Tully. At approximately 9:15, the MSP obtained Mr. Kearney's passcode and gained access to them. Within 1 hour, Miss Peters sent a childish and harassing direct message on Twitter to one of Miss Reed's attorneys. We know you are involved in Aidan Kearney's little witness harassment game, and your texts with him have already been making the rounds. Buckle up, Buttercup. Tully has testified that he viewed text messages between Kearney and Miss Reed's attorneys on Mr. Kearney's cellular phone on October. When you're going to use someone to be an influence agent of you, don't use someone who has so little intelligence that they can't figure out how to hide that you gave them the evidence. Look at the difference. They have to celebrate Aidan's phone to find his sources. Krusty just goes on Twitter and tells everyone, yeah, we looked at your shit and they told me. Miss Peters' baseless implication that Miss Reed's attorneys engaged in witness intimidation is another example of a pattern of engaging in violation of MGL 26.8, paragraph 13. See October 8 letter. That's witness intimidation and harassment that she, yeah. In October 31st, Stoughton District Court clerk Lauren Green presented Miss Littlefield with evidence gathered during the investigation demanded by Morrissey These materials included copies of Morrissey's September 29th email and several pages from a Cellbrite extraction report from one of the cellular phones seized from Mr. Kearney on October 11. The pages of the extraction report provided to Ms. Littlefield omitted a May 30th message in which Mr. Kearney was told that a local reporter observed the proceedings where Ms. McCabe was denied a protective order against Mr. Kearney. I don't understand that footnote. Mr. Mellow's misleading assertions about Mr. Kearney's devices. On October 19th, Mellow emailed co-counsel Timothy Bradel that he did not know how far the MSP had progressed in any review of Mr. Kearney's devices. A few hours later, after speaking with Tully, Mr. Mellow updated Mr. Bradel. Tully is the only individual in possession of the electronics seized, and I can confirm that he will cease any further searches until this matter can be addressed by the court. You have my word on this as an officer of the court. Never swear that you're truthful, because it'll come back and bite you in the behind. From October 20th to November 8th, Mr. Bradel asked Mr. Mellow 3 times if Mr. Kearney's phones had been imaged, which would have made it unnecessary for the Commonwealth to maintain possession of them. Mellow tellingly ignored these inquiries. On November 16th, Mr. Mellow reassured Mr. Bradel that Mr. Kearney's devices had not been searched. I gave you my representation that we would not examine the content of the electronic devices without sufficient prior notice to you. Please know that we obtained search warrants this morning for the contents of said devices. The defense has not been provided with these warrants or underlying affidavits. We demand immediate production of these documents. Idiots. I have asked Tully, and he has agreed to refrain from executing said warrants. Your client's devices will not be examined prior to the court's ruling on your motion. So, is that 2 lies? 3 lies? How many lies are in this? KP lost 2 children, which is extremely difficult. Well, she didn't lose them. They were taken by the state because she was a bad mom. She actually could have lost all 4, should have. They told her to pick 2 to give up. We'll take all 4. That's also a shitty move by the state. Hey, Shiny Molly. Well, I started at a weird hour. KP is quite possibly the worst informant ever, sharing it on social media. Yeah, and she can't. Let's try this. let me do some. We're gonna do a little play acting. Hey everyone. Rumor has it that Aiden Kearney is being looked into. I don't know. I can't confirm anything, but what I heard is he might. There was that they found out that he was working with that person in the DMV. I'm wondering, could he also have a mole in the DA's office? I have no knowledge of this, but isn't it weird how Kearney always have access to whatever goes on in this case? We know he's working with Ken Reed. We've known that for a long time. But do they have a mole in the DA's? I wouldn't know, because how could you know? But imagine if he's that well connected that he, even in the DA's office, he can plant a mole who give him underhand information that he can use in his attempt to help Ken Reed get off the hook for that horrendous crime she did. What I just hope that the DA's office makes sure that no one leaks to Aiden. I would be very, very worried seeing that he apparently have connections to police officers and DMV workers What's to say he couldn't get a mole in the DA's office? I just find it very curious that all of his information, when I read him on his blog, seems to be straight from the horse's mouth. I personally, if I had been the DA, I would immediately go look for any potential leaks in my ship, because we know the Titanic, even though it was built to stay afloat forever, it just needed a little scratch down the side and it went down. But again, I can only speculate that his information is a little too close to the source to not come from someone either involved in the DA's office or very closely connected to the DA's office, because this seems a little bit fishy to me. But what do I know? Scene. That's how you plan a story. You don't go say, hey, idiot, I know you have sources. You imply they have sources. You make people speculate they have sources. Have you never done stuff? You should be in politics. In politics, you learn all about how to plan the story without planning a story. You imply that a journalist probably should go look at something, or there could be an interesting story coming up. You never ever give them the direct quotes. You imply that there would be a good story that could help their career, because if you scratch their back, they scratch yours. It's, hey, OnlyFan. Some just imply that some people are talking about, or I had a source reach out to me who said that something is going on because Aiden's commentary lately has seemed like he has an insight. You don't go straight to TwitSwat and say, ha, Morrissey told me Aiden is a bad guy, because then you are no good as a league. We can't give you the tasty morsels because you can't leak it in a good way. I love stupid people because they make it really easy for me to have content. Who is this day? Well, that's for you to find out. All the seaweed dirt is coming out in the turtle wash. Bring on freedom for Karen so we can get justice for John. And don't forget Sandra. Don't forget Garcia. Don't forget these people as well. And let's get all of these efforts fired, because they are not worthy of the trust you give them as police officers. A badge and a gun comes with an obligation, and what is it they say in Spider-Man? With big powers come big responsibilities. With a badge and a gun, you also have a big responsibility to be just a little better than the rest of us. Millions are coming to me. Well, right now we are 99 people. So if you can get the 999,990 and one person here, I would love to have a million stream. I think my biggest is my first panel stream with 46,000 views. They are those who must not be named. Voldemort. I only lost some sighting and share. Oh, it's I hope everything's good down there with you. Florida. Seems like a weird place. On November 28th, at a hearing in the Stoughton District Court, video of the proceeding is available. Mr. Mello couldn't have been any clearer in representing that Mr. Kearney's devices had not been searched. The state police and the investigators have not perused the material. It is in pristine form located on the defendant's devices. The court then asked Mr. Bradel if he had been advised by the government that they hadn't started the search, that there's been no search done. Mr. Bradel indicated that it was his understanding that no searches had occurred. Instead of clarifying the obvious misimpression that the court and Mr. Bradel believed Mr. Kearney's devices had not been searched, Mr. Mello merely replied, "We would not investigate. We would honor our commitment to further not investigate until this matter is determined by the Superior Court." Mr. Mello further stated that if he provided the devices to defense, Mr. Kearney might delete data and thereby impair the integrity of later extraction. In other words, Mr. Mello gave the court and defense the clear impression that Mr. Kearney's phones had not been searched or imaged for extraction when he knew the exact opposite was true. See Exhibit A, testimony of Tully. So an officer of the court hired specially to be a special prosecutor in this case lied to the court. I hope the judge is very happy with that. I know the judge wasn't fond of Mr. Mello not being able to bring the internet into the courtroom. You mean, but it's online. Is there, I don't know, lawyering? Shouldn't a bar association or something get into all of this? With big powers come big responsibilities. That's why I like big boobs and I cannot lie. Other fellas might deny. What an itty bitty thing with a big round chest. Thank you, Irish. It stains credulity. It's just a hard word to say, but I like it, yes. Well, Tully is an idiot. That's why. And Mello is a bigger idiot. Go to bed, Gabby, and see you in the morning. Yeah, it's probably, I don't know if it's a good time to do streams. I've been missing morning streams. Maybe I should do once a week or something when I don't have Molly so I can go back and get a nap after. I don't know if an 11 o'clock Eastern time show should be on my horizon. It stains credulity that Mr. Mello, who frequently discussed the investigation with Tully in October, didn't know on November 28th that Tully had in fact searched Mr. Kearney's devices and that at least one phone had been previously extracted. Mr. Mello's dubious representations are another topic that we intend to examine him and Tully under oath in support of our pending motion to disqualify Mello under Rule 3 of the Massachusetts Rule of Criminal Procedure. Yeah, that's another problem. They have that hearing coming up as well. Oh, it's going to be such a wonderful year in law streaming. Mr. Mello misleading representation and failure to disclose evidence he was obligated to provide to the defense several months ago likely violated Rule 3.3 and 3.4 and A1, A, and D of the Massachusetts Rule of Professional Conduct. For more than 1 year, the Commonwealth had steadfastly refused to return Mr. Kearney's devices. Even worse, you haven't disclosed to the defense any evidence contained therein. Instead, the Commonwealth had repeatedly maintained that Mr. Kearney's devices had not been searched. The Commonwealth's obfuscation has harmed Mr. Kearney professionally, and it has prejudiced him as a criminal defendant. He is entitled to data on his phone that is necessary for him to continue his journalism, and he had an absolute right to review evidence to which he is legally entitled. On April 23, Mr. Mello was ordered to disclose by May 8 any evidence in his possession that was subject to automatic disclosure under Rule 14, and they still haven't done that. Given irrefutable proof that Mr. Mello and Tully and almost certainly Morrissey have known that Mr. Kearney's devices were searched and at least one extracted in October 23, The Commonwealth's failure to disclose any evidence recorded from Mr. Kearney's devices and any extraction report from his cellular phone is indefensible, a clear violation of his due process right to access material evidence and to fully prepare a defense. Thank you so much, Rachel, for a super sticker saying my hero. Oh, ain't you sweet? Oh, well, you're probably talking about Bederow. Thank you, Rachel. Nice. This was a Melanie Little shout out. What did I miss? What? Yeah, Melanie had been, she and Declara was covering this earlier. I might try and see if I can get some people. It's so bad that, well, it's not bad. It's great that Bederow is on this case, but I so would love to have him on going through these letters with us because, I can just see him getting that small stroke every time he reads anything these a-holes has been doing in this case. The defense believes that Mr. Kearney is being prosecuted to stifle his First Amendment rights to report and opine publicly and loudly about alleged corruption and misconduct in the Reed case by the Commonwealth, MSP, and civilians who are now witnesses against him. We further alleges that the MSP wanted to seize Mr. Kearney's cellular phone to improbably access his sources of knowledge about the Reed case and to review any information he possessed regarding a federal investigation into their conduct during the Reed investigation and prosecution. Of course they did. Pursuant to Brady, we demand any information and evidence in your possession, custody, and control regarding the seizure, search, and extraction of Mr. Kearney's devices, included but not limited to. They also ask for that in letter 1 and letter 2. Just a little reminder, there have been Brady violations all over the place, but they will probably say, well, we just have to disclose it in time before trial, which I believe in Massachusetts is 11 days before trial starts. But I might be wrong. True and accurate and complete copies of any data searched and or observed, any extraction reports, search warrants, affidavits in support of search warrants when the devices were searched and extracted, by whom, any reports, email, documentation in any form describing the content, searches, and extraction from of the devices or communications between and among or to or from Morrissey, Mello, Tully, anyone associated with the Norfolk DA's office or MSP, any of the individuals referred in DA Morrissey's September 29th email, Miss Littlefield, Miss Green, any other employees of the Stoughton District Court, Jennifer McCabe, Chris Albert, and Miss Peters. We look forward to your prompt disclosure of the requested evidence and any other required Brady and Giglio, not Gigolo, disclosures that result from your discussion with DA Morrissey, Mr. Mello, Tully, or any other appropriate individuals regarding the issue we have raised about Mr. Kearney's cellular phone. Oh, I know he won't talk. He won't talk about it because he's a smart cookie. He's not like the other idiots. This is the third letter. The first one was the missing documentation in the Lindsay thing. The second one was the whole bracket between the DA's office and Krusty Pandy's related to the Lindsay incident. The third letter, my that sounds weird. One of the guys I admire a lot on YouTube, is not a YouTuber, but is Steve Gosney, who is a terrific human being. I met him in Tennessee. Lovely wife. We discussed the Great British Bake Off. But as a side quest, what I have, besides being a lawyer, Steve is also writing books, good books. I have gotten one of them by, thank you, Dave, for that one. But he writes books. And I think Bederow should write books because he's building this. You want letter for now. I got into an argument with an idiot on Twitter the other day who said, well, Bederow is just sitting there on YouTube trying to get clout and try to get super chats. No, he never asked for anything. I can text him and say, hey, buddy, there's a new drop in the Kearney case. Do you have time? And he normally says, well, I'm just finishing up. Can we do it at 2? Sure thing, whenever you have the time. And he'll give me an hour, 2 hours of his precious time. He could be earning money doing stuff. He never asked for a shout out. He tells me, hey, get a tweet out there so I can promote it to my guys, help you out. He don't owe me nothing. He don't know me. You don't know me. He has been more than generous with his time, his knowledge, and his appearances on my show. But I think he took to YouTube like a fish to water, because I think he also goes on with Mike a lot over on the Young Jerks, and I think he learned how to be an effective communicator on the tubes, because the way he structures his letters, it's so easy to present in a good stream format. You can do it in a little bit about an hour. It's easy to figure out. It's not legalese. He should be writing a book, but instead he's writing scripts for YouTube videos by this, and he builds suspense. I woke up at 5 in the mornings. I saw the letter was talked about yesterday. Woke up, Marissa had found it for me. Thank you, Marissa. And I can't wait to do a live stream covering it, because it's so well written. I don't have to go and figure out how to structure it because it's told perfectly. And he builds a story. And he builds it in a very good way. You start in that little, maybe not that important part of it. You say, well, Lindsay Garani, whatever her name is, was used as a honeypot to entrap my client. Boom. They had a go-between that links her directly to Tully and Mello. Boom. That go-between and Tully and Mello now leads it right to Morrissey. Point, point, point. It's almost like that little story about a poor moisture farmer who just wanted to go to Toshi space station to pick up some power converters. Then he's told, Luke, I am your father. And in the end, there's the big redemption where they take down the evil D.A. Morrissey. I mean, the Emperor. That's a Star Wars analogy for those of you. But not like Star Wars. The quality of Bederow's letters doesn't drop off a cliff when they try to go outside the script. If that was true, he would have his own show. Yes. And he'll be doing great because he's a great talker. I think Bederow knew that something didn't smell right. He probably talked to Brady before, and they knew they had something. But he's also, as I've said, he's that counterpuncher. You need to come in and just slug someone in the mouth, and then you have Brady, who can be the more diplomatic counsel. But I like smart people because I'm not one of them. And I like someone who can, because you can talk to, the way he writes his letters, you can do, it's like watching your favorite TV show. You have to build to the series finale. It's like booking a wrestling show. You need to build in intensity and then get the big payoff. Everyone is waiting for letter number 4 or 5 or how many letters we're gonna. What is the next revelation? Because again, drip, 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 and it just gets bigger and bigger. I really like how he reads it. You got the Grifter cut. I am glad. You are the one in Ohio, because I got a notification that they tried to deliver it at your house, but couldn't. And the person in California gave me maybe a wrong address, or I filled it out wrong. So I don't know if they will find you, because you didn't give me a last name. So I just put Doe on. I don't know. But I know 3 or 4 of the packages have been arrived, but 2 have confirmed that they have gotten it. So thank you so much, Becca. Now you just have to grift it and say, hey, Baker's such a grifter. Bederow is a quick learner. He got soap opera real quick. Yeah, but it takes skill. Don't knock soap opera. People are always saying, well, it's easy TV. Yeah, but you have to keep an audience enticed. For how long has ER been going? CSI and all the 27 CSI shows. You need good writers who can pitch a story to the audience that they want to follow, because that's what's wonderful about his writings, because each little letter is interesting, but you can see how it progresses, how it ties together. We start out with the honeypot, and now we're talking about Morrissey influencing the justices in Stoughton. Brilliant. Mark, I salute you. Legal writing is difficult. That's why they have to teach it to people who already have enough education to get into law school. Bederow is an excellent writer, period. But he's also smart enough to understand that he's not writing this to Costco. He's writing this to me, to Melanie Little, the Young Jerks, the Clara, Turtle Boy. Well, of course, Turtle Boy, he works for him. I don't know, have Runkle been covering Turtle Boy as well? I think so. But he's writing this for all of us. He's serving it up so we don't have to sit here and cut it into pieces and tell you what he means by a Brady violation is they must disclose any, even inculpatory evidence to the defense in a timely manner. We don't have to do that. He'll just put it in a footnote so I can just read it off the page. Brilliant. Brilliant. I like you. Hey, Shirley A. Outrage, I tell you. I have to say this topic is better to listen to than with my first coffee than the Diddler. I'm sorry, Helene, that you got out of bed and I was reading about the Diddler. But it was a great stream. Sadly, not enough people saw it, but people... I should do maybe once a week to get people used to seeing me at this hour. Yes, he's good. I told Melanie Little to get a Grifter shirt from you. She said she was checking it out. Well, I don't ask a woman her size, but I should gift her one. No, but they still claim that he's just doing it for the grift because they don't have nothing. They think all we do is sit here and force you to pay us. We will lie, cheat, and steal the good old Eddie Guerrero way to get money out of you. Because we are no good money-grabbing grifters. I am. I am the biggest grifter. I am the king grifter. I do anything for a buck. And didn't I make an overlay? As you can clearly see, I'll do anything for money. That's why I always tell everyone to do all of the YouTube things and send me money and please. But that's what they think, because that's what they would do if they had a YouTube channel. The problem is, no, we are very appreciative. I've never heard anyone begging for money on our side. I've heard people promoting legal funds that to help Free Can Read. I'm grateful whenever someone sends me a super sticker or a super chat or buys a membership. But they are sitting here looking at, and again, I'm the small fish. I'm the little guy in all of this. But they're looking at when I had Burkhardt, Little, Bederow, the Young Jerks, Brady. When I have these people on, I can get like 30, 40,000 views on a video. And they're sitting here thinking, why can't I do that? It must be because they're just good. I have integrity. I am a better person. That's why I tell the truth. But people don't want the truth. They just want the grifters. I spent more money on my last giveaway than I made that week on YouTube, because I have YouTube money. I'm not YouTube rich, but I have nothing without all of you. If I can't give you the product you want, first of all, I won't get any super chats, and that's not the important part. But I would get 0 views. What they don't understand is, one, you have to find a good story. Bederow serves it for us. It's an easy story to cover. 2, you have to have a personality. You have to have some kind of hook that people want to see, because you can see this on every channel. Then over the weekend, and I'll probably try and see if I can get some people on over the weekend, because Saturday I have to go to a strongman competition to watch, not participate, when my normal morning stream is. So I'll probably do one later in the day, but I might bring this topic up again. But what they don't understand is, why is Melanie at 70,000 subscribers or something like that? Why has Brandy Churchwell gotten, is she at 30,000 subscribers? Why do 1,000 people go and watch the Young Jerks stream? It's because they are likable people. I'm not. I'm an a-hole. I'm just happy that anyone shows up. But they are good communicators. They are great entertainers. They take a good subject and they present it in a great way. All of these a-holes, the Young Jerks, not the Young Jerks. Why do I keep Plevin sitting in his mom's attic complaining about all of us, calling us grifters? He has no life. He has no experience. He has no personality. He's just a melted piece of clay, like Kate Peters, Catherine Peters. I can't name right name, but they don't get no success, so everyone else must be cheating. That's why they call us grifters. And then call me a grifter, because Becca, for a once a week Karen out of her grifter stream. Well, I can't promise you I'll do a Karen stream every week, because I need the content, but I'm just thinking that I should try and do. There's not a lot of people streaming late night. Maybe I can do it, because I get up at this time anyway. But thank you for supporting my grift. Someone complained that I did that thing where I put the sticky notes up and as another little thank you. And actually, if you can see that white box over there, that's all the super chats. When they go off the board, I still keep them to remind me to be thankful. But they're just saying, oh, look at that grifter. It's just to show off how many people pay. No. It's actually to remind me every time I walk into this studio that I'm lucky I have all of you. Because I could be just the same person with 0 viewers, but I'm lucky that I have at 7:30 in the morning, my time, I have you people watching me. And a lot of streamers should remember that we are nothing without an audience. So I'm grifting all of you because I have to remind you that every time I get the need to turn on the camera, I have to do my best damn thing. I don't have to sit there, smoke cigarettes, and say, "Well, Aiden is an asshole," and I heard that Karen was out drinking last week. She's such a bad person. And poor little Lindsay, Grant has tried to get into her panties for a year now, and imagine having that guy on top of you. Grant, I'll still pay you $25 if you unblock me on Twitch. For the a-hole grift personality, I have that in spades. I actually have so much I should be a b-hole. And I shouldn't speak because I say stupid stuff when I do it. But thank you, Irish. I'm likable. I'm here for the honesty, generousness, and humor. Well, we also, that's another thing we have to, in my opinion, the streamers I like to watch is the streamers who feel real, not who, I'm not big on that. Today, we are gonna do a disclosure in this case. I don't like all of that. That's too high tempo for me. I'm more laid back. I like a little more subdued, and I like, but I like that we can feel each other. I love that the interaction with chat that I try to learn a little bit, and remember a little bit about you. That I like that interactiveness because it makes me feel a little bit at home as well. And I try to make that I don't make safe spaces because the world ain't safe. You will get punched in your face, but I like that everyone can feel okay, that they can say what they want and be somewhere where other people can accept that maybe I vote for this guy, we don't have to hate you. Or I feel I have a lot of cases where people are disagreeing on who's guilty, but we still hang out together because we have fun, enjoy seasons in the sun, but those seasons weren't to last. Baker, quit cutting yourself short. We all love you. Well, in Denmark, it's a requirement. We have a law that always have to say we are worse than everyone else. It's by law. It's called the law of Jante. I don't know who Jante was, but Danish people always put themselves down. We are not good enough. It's a weird cultural thing because if you claim that you are better than anyone else or as good as anyone else, you must be full of it. That's why, and it's not. I don't put myself down. I just use myself as an example. It's the same when people say, "Don't say you're fat." Why not? I have a mirror. For Mark Bederow researched his case regarding John Jiwaka in New York, wrongful conviction, imprisoned 12 years. Bederow is fighting that case now. Thank you, Laura. Yeah, he comes off as a very gentle person. You can tell that there's fire in there, but reading him is like watching. It's like watching Mike Tyson because he just goes in, boom, 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 5 to the body, 2 to the head. And I love that he just put in that little disclosure. Of course, Mr. Costco didn't know anything about it. It's all the other people who are bad. You didn't know about it because then he gave him an out. So he can say, well, I better work with them because the proverbial feces is about to hit the fan. He's a smart cookie. I really like him. Oh, thank you, Shirley. That is horrible. The industry is a mess. I know there was several on Annabelle Island and lost everything and had. Oh, I'm sitting here thinking, what did I talk? Sorry. No, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that you could have. I am lucky that I have you, but thank you so much, Lisa. But it's just I'm so lucky that I have to remind myself everything, because I do get those days where you're sitting here thinking, why? Sometimes doing that 8 weeks of Can Read where you're sitting here for 8 hours a day, plus I did a pre-show, I did a recap show. You feel a little rundown sometimes, but then luckily in the 2 years I've been doing that, when the light goes on, I haven't had that feeling that I don't want to do it. I just want to turn it off. At the end of the day, when we get to 10:30 my time, I do feel. But the good thing is, then I woke up at 5 and think I could do another show because I went to bed early last night. Oh, interesting. One of my longest running students is a Dane living here, but he stopped about 5 years ago. Hence, I'm familiar with your humor. Yeah, we are very self-deprecating. But we're very subdued as well. But it doesn't mean that it's funny to us. A Dane would understand and say, "Oh, sarcasm. It's our second language," which isn't true in my case. German is my second language. Well, I like a little bit of gossip, but so far, when I get the good gossip, I keep it to myself. Bigger is my brother, and I want to stay up for this. Unfortunately, need to be a grown up and work, unlike KP and LG. Leah, I'll be ending it real soon, but thank you so much for joining me for Bedtime with Baker. But thank you so much for stopping by, and so much for the super chat. You didn't need to. And yeah, go earn some tax dollars so you can pay for KP. Is her if she gets a plea deal, could you put a money amount on that and then tax her off that, because then she could provide some goods to society. Hey Ria, good morning. I was looking at Plevin's numbers. He's doing better than I am. So people are watching him. Most of them probably like me, sitting there thinking, I'm not sure he's intelligent enough to not soil himself. Do you pay to get in at the movies? Your entertainment, you pay for one concert ticket, same thing. Well, again, I do get ad buys from, or if you have premium and all of that, and some of you, like you, Jude, is friendly enough to support me through membership. So I don't complain. And again, would I like to make $1 million buy that house in South Dakota that someone sent me? $50,000, and it looked nice. It looked a little old, but I don't know what's. Yeah, South Dakota, that's where the heads are. Right next to Minnesota and Nebraska. I could live in, and it's not that far from Tennessee. It's only that far. The expert could drive up and see me every day in Valhalla. But only 50,000 for a house. That was a pretty good house. I could do that, and then I could be on a normal time schedule. Oh, the closing arguments. When I saw that, my level of retardation went through the roof. Him putting on a tie and do the closing arguments and being totally wrong. I love. The good thing about Plevin is it's kind of like Doink. You can't hate them because they're so stupid, it becomes endearing. I don't know what, maybe I just like stupid people, but I love those two. They are, because they're not they're not as mean as Kate Peters. She's just as stupid, but she's not she's very mean. Plevin is just an idiot. I like idiots. Fat, pretty hot and thick. Well, fat is also a very great deterrent against being kidnapped. So that's why I keep my BMI up so no one steals me. Thank you, Irish. I babysat Jensa's kid, but she was a Finn. I don't know many Finnish people. Finns are the odd one out of Scandinavia. We really don't. I have a few Finns who watch my channel, and I know. Well, I was deployed with Finnish people, but don't know many Finns. Are we ready for Sarah Boone in the morning? We are ready for the Richards hearing in the morning in the Sarah Boone case. I'll have to set up the stream and send the link to Mo, but I'll do that, and then I'll get to the gym. Then I'll get to bed and get another nap in before, because again, I'm stupid. I do a night show now. Thank you, Jude Curio, for gifting a membership to OnlyFan. Thank you, Jude. But what was I about to say? I was going to make a stupid joke about OnlyFan. Thank you, classic overthinker. I haven't looked into that one. He never, and that's another thing. They call him a grifter. He never talks about that case. He's not trying to spread awareness about it. When he comes on a stream, I have asked him, "Hey, can you come on, comment on this new development in the Kearney case?" He just says, "Sure, buddy." He doesn't say, "But you have to give me 10 minutes to promote my crap." I heard a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, that to have some people, not in our community, but in popular culture, to have them come on your show and do like, I don't know if it's an hour or how long they'll stay. They will ask for you having at least, what was it, 50,000 subscribers. They won't touch anyone with less than 50,000 subscribers. Or you have to pay them $2,500 to go on your show, because you get all of their clout. When they go on, you can get potential viewers. And I'm sitting here thinking, a year ago at this time, I had a channel that was a tenth as big as it is now. My goal this year was to reach 2,000 subscribers, because I got lucky and Bronkel said yes, Bederow said yes, Burkhardt said yes. All of these people who had big audiences came in and people subscribed to me. It doesn't really matter how many subscribers you have. As you can see, I don't have all 12,000 people here right now, but I got lucky. So people started reaching out to me, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, I found Ada K one morning. She was doing a stream, sitting, talking. I had nothing to do, so we started promoting her. Why are you always out there trying to do that grift? Why not build the cake bigger and everyone can get a piece of the cake? No. Oh, you have to be big enough for me to waste my time on you. That's, again, the better way is, I don't know you, I never met you. Okay, I'll do it. Imagine if I was getting hoity-toity now with saying, well, I have more than 10,000 subs, so I can't talk to anyone below 5,000 because you're not good for my brand. No, Bederow just gives you your time. He doesn't care. He'll help you understand the law, and it's not about cloud or being on a channel that's big or small or anything like that. I think he'll go on any show, and if you have chemistry and he likes you, he'll come back. I don't get that. I don't get anyone calling that man a grifter. I'm a grifter. He's just a good guy, and he's a great lawyer. Well, I like OnlyFans. That was a great live. Anna Siga Nicolazzi, corrupt attorney in the Brooklyn DS office. Bederow won't mention her name. She's in ID channel. Oh. Yes, upcoming creators get bigger heads and they go south. It's because they forget that you were 5 people once. I started my show talking Danish politics to no one. I, by accident, made a live show to when the election ended. I had 1 viewer. That was myself with my tab open. I sat there for an hour, still gave it a show because maybe someone will do in this stream came back and saw it the next day. Again, why I remind myself that every show must be as good as I can make it at that time. Because someone might come in a year and look at this show and think, oh my God, he was really bad. I probably was, but can't you remember when you were? I was over the moon when I got to 50 subs. 50. My first year, I had 45 subscribers. Well, not the first year as a streamer, but I started in September, and when I got to New Year's, I was at 45. Then I got a lucky break with Dave covering a trial, and I was yammering in his chat. It brought me on. And I got 50 subscribers. Imagine getting to. Could I get to 100? And I met nice people who gave me a chance. Why shouldn't I give them a chance? And just because I have a certain amount of clout now, why shouldn't I help a little guy out? I had a guy reach out to me today to ask about how to do stuff. Why shouldn't I? I know there's some people out there who will sell you how to become a good YouTuber. I didn't buy the class, as you can clearly see, because I give it away for free. But ladies, why can't I help someone? Of course, if I'm busy, I would tell you I'll get back to you, or maybe if I've seen your channel and I don't really feel like you and I would work together, I'd probably tell you in a nice way, saying, well, it's not fitting with my, it's not because I don't want to help people out, but some people you do, some people you don't deal with. But you could, a guy asking me, I have a really hard time figuring out how to live stream because my numbers aren't there. Well, they won't be, because you have to, I'm streaming at 6 a.m. my time in the morning. No one is expecting me to stream at this hour, so I don't get any views. Luckily, people see I'm live and say, oh, let's check him out. But it's a grind. You have to grind, you have to work, you have to, and I think a lot of people should be more, to say, reminiscent of their own past, of those times where they were sitting here and they just saw. I have a little number up in the top of the screen in StreamYards. It says how long we've been going, how many people are watching me right now. There's 108 people. I can tell that. I remember when I saw double digits on a live stream. I remember almost getting a stroke when I saw triple digits. I didn't think I could follow along with chat and I could talk to chat. But now you're sitting here thinking, unless we get above 2,000, it'll get a little too rowdy for me to follow along. I'll slow chat down. It's just but you have to grind your way through it. And people should remember all those grinding days and should throw a little stardust on other people. Hey, Truth and Transparency. Get to bed, and great coverage on the Delphi. Yeah, and again, Those new eyes I bring to you, even though you have 10,000 more subs than me. Those are eyes who wouldn't have found you if I hadn't been there, and vice versa. The cake only gets bigger. I don't like people. What's it called? Gatekeeping. Arizona is my dream state. I love it. I wish I could move there. My bestie lives in Chandler. I don't know who Chandler is, but she sounds like a quite large woman if people can live in her. Maybe she's pregnant. That's why. I'm stupid. I'm making stupid jokes. I should get off of here, but oh, MG is still live. I can send you all over to MG. Come back for Sarah Boone today, 9 a.m. Eastern. Finally, the show is supposed to start. Sarah was denied her snacks. I still have my, in solidarity, I haven't eaten my plop yet. The only candy named after a bowel movement. But come back, join me for Sarah Boone. I will have the wonderful Mo on. Hopefully Jamie can soon get out of her. Jamie is with the peacekeepers in Botswana. She's working with the warlords, trying to figure out a peace deal. She might get it done by tomorrow. So we can get our beauty on a budget segment in the middle of the case. No promises. Jamie, it's a UN thing. She has to do it because she's the queen. But remember your grinding days. Well, every day is a grind. Your grinding never stops. It's just you try to grind to a big audience. It's actually quite good. It's chocolate with caramels filling. But I'll take Molly out for a walk now after I set up the afternoon stream. Morning stream for you. Go get some sleep. I should have had more of it. I need my beauty sleep. Love y'all, and love a good Bederow to start the day. Giggity.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100%
100%.
correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I thought you meant really smart.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.